Well, folks, it might be Saturday, May 17th, but that doesn't mean we don't have a bunch of Nintendo Switch 2 news for you, including some stuff about pre-orders and even midnight pickups at GameStop. Oh man, we got some exciting updates with that. We might have partnered with a friend of the channel to help deliver some of that news. We have some stuff up here as well with updates to Game Chat and some actual very useful user functionality being added to it that shows that Nintendo was a little forward thinking on certain aspects of how it functions. So I'm really happy about that. We have some updates from CD Projekt Red as well and what they have to say about Switch 2. And as one of the biggest supporters of Switch 2 at launch with the full physical Cyberpunk 2077, and we know that they did Witcher 3 on Switch, very interested what they have to say about Switch 2 and their future plans for the platform. So that's exciting as well. And there's just so much going on that, you know what, we have to just tell you we are giving away 2 Nintendo Switch 2 Mario Kart World bundles. If you are excited about those bundles, I can't blame you because I'm really excited as well to give them away. We'll be giving them away through the link down in the pinned comment or in the description. We'll be announcing the winner about 10 days before the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. So it's actually coming up relatively quickly. We only have 19 days left until Switch 2 is in our hands. Well, just 9 days from now, we'll be drawing those winners. We have one additional system we're going to be giving away. Besides that, we're going to do that on a live stream. We'll talk about that later, though. That being said, let's go ahead and dive into the first story. We're dealing with the Switch 2 Game Chat. It includes text-to-speech and live subtitle options. So one of Switch 2's most touted features in Game Chat is the ability to join friends with a live video chat as you stream and play games online. As we get nearer to the system's launch, more details about the various features and options are making themselves known. The latest is the reveal that Game Chat will offer both text-to-speech and live subtitle functionality. These options were demonstrated in 2 posts shared online by Oatmeal Dome, which we'll look at those in a moment. The first shows a user typing in text via Game Chat while playing Super Mario Party Jamboree. The system then reads the text out loud. The typing is being done via an on-screen keyboard, but it's likely USB keyboards would also be supported. Next is an image showcasing live subtitles feature, and if you're playing online with friends via Game Chat, you'll be able to enable the section on-screen resembling a chat room that actively transcribes what your friends are saying over their microphones. They should both be useful features for a variety of reasons. Take a look at this below. So let's go ahead and open up. Let me see. First here is the screenshot. Game Chat supports live subtitles. The system can transcribe what everyone is saying and display it in the chat. So we can see that up here with this larger image. You see it being displayed here on the right. But let's go to the actual video because I think the video is really, really interesting. And we're going to go ahead and unmute this here and let you guys listen to what's happening with this new function. So there you go. That is the chat functionality. It's pretty awesome. I really like that Nintendo did this. This is really great for just increasing the amount of people that can actually use this stuff. It is something that just makes me smile in so many ways just to see user functionality added like this. I would like to see a full-on messaging system. Unfortunately, that doesn't appear to be a thing at this time, but maybe Nintendo will add it in the future. But still, it's nice to see that they're adding the text-to-speech. There are people who literally are mute and can't actually talk, people who have medical conditions, and a whole bunch of different reasons that you would actually find this to be quite useful. And again, it probably supports USB keyboards, so to make this very easy for certain people with those disabilities. Now, let's go ahead and get into the next bit here, because we have some stuff dealing with Donkey Kong. A couple things dealing specifically with Donkey Kong Bananza. First, obviously, is this brand new screenshot. You guys might have already seen this already. Nintendo posted it on their socials yesterday. But as you can see here, this is really, really cool looking. It's obviously showing off something we haven't seen from the game yet. We can only speculate on what the purple stuff means. It's clearly holding something down. So I assume there might be like 3 different things we have to do in this level, in this world, to unlock those 3 chains holding down whatever is floating above. That's just a guess. I don't know. Looks like there could be a boss battle potentially down in the region of the monkey door. And look, this just looks really cool. Nintendo's use of purple has been really increasing since the days of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I don't mind it. Purple really does stand out in contrast to a lot of different colors. So, yeah, I like what they're showing here. Obviously, this is going to probably be even better in live gameplay. But again, it's just another look at Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's always really exciting. And you know what? People are even more exciting because they're starting to think Diddy Kong might be in DK Bonanza because Nintendo revealed a brand new render with a redesign. Now, the redesign isn't too crazy. We've already seen a small redesign in the Mario movie, and this redesign does make it look more like the Mario movie. You see this Polygon article saying Nintendo redesign Diddy Kong is so much better. As we go down here, this is the redesign, and there isn't a whole lot different from the current design. The big differences are they added some teeth, so that is like reminiscent of the actual Mario movie where Diddy Kong has teeth, and they put a thin line of skin between his eyes so they're not connected anymore like the Sonic eyes. You know, they actually are separate eyeballs. And you can see the old design did not have the teeth and did not have that thin layer of skin going down in between. So in general, it's a slight upgrade. Obviously, the fur has been upgraded. The tail, I also believe, is a little bit shorter. If you look at this tail here versus the tail on the old artwork, it looks like the tail might be shortened a little bit, but otherwise the design isn't like too crazy different. It's just to bring it more in line with the Mario movie, and obviously probably being used in the game. You can see the Mario movie one here where he has the teeth and they have the skin, a thicker piece of skin between the eyes. It's just bringing it more in line with the actual Mario movie. You can see Dixie over here being like, oh, what the hell are you doing, Diddy? But anyways, yeah, this is probably pseudo confirmation, not 100%, that Diddy Kong is actually in Donkey Kong Bonanza, but you know, we don't know that for sure yet because it hasn't been revealed. There's one other piece of art floating out there that at least has Donkey Kong involved, so we're going to show it, and that's this art here, new Mario and Friends. This is found on mario.nintendo.com. These are all completely new renders of Mario and Friends. So you're seeing things here like obviously the new Donkey Kong design where he's flexing in the background, but everyone here has slightly new designs. If you compare these to the old art for each of these characters, there are slight differences. So Nintendo basically has updated everything for Mario. And what's cool about looking at these is this could give you a good idea of either updated designs that could be specific to Mario Kart, or what if these designs are specific to a new 3D Mario, and this is the sort of style we're going to see in that new 3D Mario? That's a good question. We haven't seen 3D Mario yet, but Nintendo did update all of these designs right before Switch 2 came out. So I do think it's notable to note those design changes because they likely do impact certain games. Now, another design change that we have to talk about with Nintendo has to do with Nintendo Switch 2 box art. And there's been images and videos floating around online of places in Japan that already have Switch 2 boxes on store shelves as they are completely ready for the launch on June 5th. Well, we can now compare those boxes because of that. So we go over here to this subreddit here, and you're seeing this this image here of Mario Kart World next to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. And what you'll notice is that the boxes are the exact same size. However, one is red, and that red really does stand out against the Switch's design. So that's pretty neat. And then this other image shows them open. Obviously, the red's much harder to see through than the clear one. But that's just obviously one look at the boxes. You guys might want some more in-depth looks, and thankfully we have some more thanks to Genki over here on Twitter. So you see Mario Kart 8 Deluxe next to Mario Kart World. Again, these are the exact same size boxes, but I now understand why Nintendo went with that bold red strip at the top and the bold red plastic, because it actually does stand out significantly from Switch. So it's a really good quick indicator you're buying a Switch 2 game. And you can see the same thing on the back. That red outline is very bold. So I do think that this bodes very, very well for customers not getting confused at retail over what is what. You can see the spine difference where they went away from the all red to allow the wrap around there. And you can see the way the text is lining up is more the way it does in Europe rather than the United States where the text is in the middle. And then you can go here and see them one on top of the other. So, and then open. You see some open looks as well. So that to me is just really cool to see how these boxes compare. There's even a video out there, which we could just I'm gonna pause this quick and show you guys, just because it's cool to see where all this stuff is coming from, and it's a different game. It's Tears of the Kingdom in this case, showing the back side and the front side. So look, I think that these box designs are pretty neat. This goes on for like another 30 seconds. You see other games on the shelf behind him. You see Kirby and Mario Party, Breath of the Wild. You're seeing Donkey Kong Bonanza getting a huge section, even though it doesn't come out till July. Mario Kart World obviously has a massive section, because why wouldn't it have a massive section when it is the de facto big launch game? And going to go on to probably be the best-selling game on the system if I had to guess, just based on Mario Kart's history. It's almost always the best-selling game on a given platform. At least it's been that way basically from Wii and DS on forward. You're seeing some other options to buy games there. If you go back a bit, you'll see they are offering like the ability here to like buy digital codes on cards. So they're not getting rid of your ability to buy digital codes if you want them. So that's always good to see. You can see some accessory advertisements for the wheels. And so, yeah, look, it's just cool to see this all up. As someone who is super hyped. Like, I am so excited for Nintendo Switch 2. Seeing this retail setup, and we don't have this yet in the United States, just lets me know we're so damn close. We're less than 3 weeks. All right. Setting aside the excitement, I think it's time to talk about Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher. How about we just talk about the actual devs at CD Projekt Red, because they decided to talk about Nintendo Switch 2 over on Popverse. So it says, the Switch 2 will be more welcoming than any Nintendo system before in terms of AAA mature games, according to Witcher and Cyberpunk creators. So here we go. We're getting into the big dogs that are supporting Nintendo Switch 2. When the Nintendo Switch 2 launches this summer, it'll be part of a plan to help the game giant grow its audience past the family-friendly titles that were a mainstay of the first generation of the console, with advances in tech letting players finally take more expansive games wherever they want to play. According to Jan Rosner, the vice president of business development at Cyberpunk 2077 developer CD Projekt Red, Nintendo's target audience is quite a bit different from what it used to be even a few years ago, and that's one of the motivators behind what's helped make Switch 2 into what it is. They go on to say, I think Nintendo is realizing that, and we have seen a big number of titles announced on the Switch 2, which you maybe would not immediately think of when it comes to Nintendo, Rosner said during an appearance on gaming podcast The Game Business. With that said, we also had the very cool experience with The Witcher 3 on the original Switch, and we know that there is an appetite for big open world AAA RPGs, which you would normally expect to be released on PC and other consoles. Switch 2 really fulfills the fantasy of playing such a game on the go. You are not tied to a big PC rig, but can take it on the go without any major compromises. Rosner believes that while changes have had to be made to the game in order to get it playable on the Switch 2, which, while the more powerful than the original Switch, still can't match up to the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, it was not a gigantic effort whatsoever to get it playable on the console, and that players will appreciate that effort. Go on to say, I'm expecting it to share at least the similar level of success as Switch 1, and if that means more CD Projekt games for Switch 2 in the future, well, on that topic, he's playing coy. We have big AAA games that are on the way, and the biggest focus right now is to develop them and make them available to the players. But of course, the Switch will remain at the center of our focus as well. Now, what's one big game we know they have in the works? The Witcher 4. So while he's not confirming Witcher 4, he is saying, we're not getting rid of our focus on games coming to Nintendo Switch. So I do think that was a pseudo hint that they absolutely are already planning on Witcher 4 being their day one. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, that game might still be a year or two away. But CD Projekt Red had more to say. This article at My Nintendo News highlights that, saying CD Projekt Red says putting Cyberpunk on cartridge was the right thing to do. We'd like to hear this from third-party companies because, honestly, regardless of who you think is to blame for game keycards, these major AAA third-party companies, they can put them on physical if they want. It's really a choice for them. And Jan Rosner, the Vice President of Business Development, again, was talking about Cyberpunk 2077 on Nintendo Switch 2. And one thing you might have noticed is the amount of third-party developers taking admittedly cheap option and making their games keycards. Rosner said in an interview that the decision to have Cyberpunk on a cartridge was an easy one, and they simply felt it was the right thing to do. So here's the quotes. It's not a matter of getting away with something, Rosner argues. Nintendo at physical retail is still strong, and retail is, in general, not going anywhere. I don't think we'll soon experience a reality where we're just having games all digital. But again, it's especially important for the Nintendo audience. We maybe could have got away with it, but is there a point? The right thing to do was to have it on the cartridge with a plug and play experience. In advice to other studios, he adds, do not underestimate the physical edition. It's not going anywhere. And Nintendo players are very appreciative of physical editions that are done right. And to that, CD Projekt Red gets it. A lot of Nintendo's audience loves physical games. And CD Projekt's Cyberpunk 2077, even being priced at $70, is one of the few games in the US appearing in top 10 sales charts of Nintendo Switch 2. Why? Because we are rewarding a company for going full physical. We want to see this more often. And for these big AAA publishers, there's no excuse. It really is a choice. Even if the whole game can't fit on a 64 gigabyte cartridge and you still have to download some of it like a Call of Duty, we still want to see like the whole single player campaign put on that cartridge, right? We want to see full physical support. And while it's so much cheaper to just say, give me a game key card, they get it. Let's go back to these quotes here. You know, especially important for the Nintendo audience. We maybe could have got away with it, but is there a point? The right thing to do was to have it on the cartridge with a plug and play experience. They think it's just the right thing to do it, and that Nintendo gamers are going to respond positively to that plug and play experience. And I can say already, it does appear we are responding very positively to CD Projekt Red going this route. So thank you, CD Projekt Red, for going that route. I hope that your game sells really well and that sets a precedent. But speaking of precedents being set, GameStop's in the news again for a couple reasons. One of them really good, one of them just really strange. Let's get to the strange one first. Select GameStop stores are giving out free Red Bull for Nintendo Switch 2's launch. Okay, who really cares about this? Well, it kind of became a story because you have to be a pro member to get the free Red Bull. It's so weird. So thinking of queuing up at GameStop before midnight on the 4th of June to secure yourself a Switch 2 console on June 5th? Well, you might be tired. So GameStop has thoughtfully announced that select stores will be handing out a can of Red Bull to make your wait just a bit more pleasurable. Don't like Red Bull? Well, you're out of luck, sadly. It's not unlimited Red Bull, as it's just a single can per customer. And here's the thing here, midnight release, going down. Select stores will be handing out a free can of Red Bull to every guest. Now, they say every guest. The fine print says you have to be a pro member. I'm going to be very curious if the managers hold to that whole pro member thing. I think they won't. Personally, I kind of think they're going to forego having to be a pro member, but we'll see. It's going to be based on a store-by-store basis. We know some stores are absolutely going to be like, oh, you better up your pro membership if you're going to get a Red Bull, like bribing us with a free $3 can of Red Bull is going to make you want to be a pro member. I'm already a pro member, so I don't have to worry about it. And Red Bull was a big sponsor at PAX East, so I had more Red Bull at PAX East than I've had in a long time. And I actually did enjoy it. And I forgot how much I actually do not mind Red Bull as an energy drink. But anyways, look, if they want to hand me a free can during my live stream, I'll take my free can of Red Bull. And hey, Red Bull, we are looking for sponsors on the channel for drinks. So if you would like to sponsor Nintendo Prime, Nathan at NintendoPrime.net. Let's hook up. Let's get something done. All right. That being said, let's get to the more fun GameStop story. This one has to do with pre-orders. Believe it or not, GameStop is doing another wave of pre-orders, and they're doing it on June 4th. Now, for all the details on that, I, of course, had to get in contact with friend of the channel, Jake Randall, who is the literal pre-order expert when it comes to getting your hands on all this gaming tech. And I wanted him to talk about this and introduce what you need to do to get your hands on a Switch 2 if you do not have a pre-order just yet.
Yo, I appreciate you, Prime. So this is actually the best news we've had about Switch 2 pre-orders in a long time. Let me fill you in. GameStop is giving you a second chance to pre-order in person if you don't have one yet. The way it's going to work is on June 4th, which is the day before the Switch 2 launch day, GameStop will let people line up and place a pre-order at 3 in the afternoon. So not at midnight, but at 3 p.m. local time. That means whether you're in Eastern time, it's still 3 p.m. If you're in Pacific time, it's 3 p.m. because it's your local store. So whatever time 3 p.m. is, that's the time they're selling them. GameStop tweeted this out, so this is all official, direct from a source, and I corroborated this information with managers to make sure we're interpreting it correctly. So this is exactly how it's going to work. Yes, you will probably have to get there way before 3 o'clock. If you want to be safe, I'd say get there at 10 in the morning, bring a chair, and that way you'll lock it in, because we don't know if there's going to be more available now than there was originally, and there might not be as many as there was for that first pre-order. But the great news is you don't have to camp overnight or put your safety at jeopardy, anything like that. Will you have to take the day off of work or Will you be out of luck if you have school? Yeah, you're going to have to find ways to work around that. But I still think this is a much better way to do it, because then at midnight, you'll come back to the store that day and pick it up. And this is where the time zone thing gets different, because now it's no longer local time. It's midnight Eastern time. So if you happen to be Pacific time, you come back 6 hours later and pick up your Switch 2 at 9 p.m. GameStop will also be taking online pre-orders again, and according to their website, that happens at midnight. So the in-store pre-orders happen first. And again, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jake Randall. If you have any questions about this, I have my most recent upload on my channel going into detail on all of this and answering a ton of questions in the comment section as well. So anything you're confused about, you can check out there. I also have a video a couple days ago where I gave the same information for Best Buy and what they're doing for their launch day extra units. So you can check out my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter X where I post updates. And thanks for having me on, Prime, to let everyone know about this, because honestly, it's a great system.
Thanks, Jake. We'll put a link down to his video on this full topic down in the description, and just his YouTube channel in general. I do appreciate him helping out for that topic. That being said, we got to get into our next news piece, because look, the Nintendo Today app keeps delivering, and this time it's delivering thanks, the GameCube controller. So we get to see the wireless GameCube controller here. Let's go back. So they're just showing off the GameCube controller, which I unfortunately was not able to get my hands on, and it is sold out. And gosh knows I'll ever get my hands on this official wireless GameCube controller, the first official wireless one since the Wavebird back in the day. You can see they added the small ZL button in there. You can see all the extra buttons for the console, the home, the C button, etc. They put that all on the top side so they can maintain the standard GameCube aesthetic when you're looking down at the controller. And it just looks really good. I don't have any major complaints here. Everything looks pretty standard. It looks great. My only complaint is that I don't have one, and I'm not going to be getting one anytime soon. Shout out to Stealth40K for uploading that off of the Nintendo Today app. And then we have one last story to get into, and this has to do with a rare issue that is occurring with people who are trying to get their pre-orders in through the My Nintendo store. So Nintendo is aware of a rare issue preventing My Nintendo Store members from pre-ordering Switch 2, and that's unfortunate because this is the official Nintendo Store. You figure the easiest place to get pre-orders in. So let's go down to what they said here in this communication. So it says, "We are aware of a rare issue preventing sign-in to My Nintendo Store. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I can help you with a temporary solution so that you can complete your Switch 2 pre-order as soon as possible. First, I'll need you to create a new Nintendo account using a different email address that you have access to. You can continue to use your previous Nintendo account as normal, but for this pre-order, you will need to use this new account. I can help you with the steps to create a new account if you need. After the Nintendo account is created, please let me know the email address you have associated with it." So this is just customer support being like, hey, we know your email was selected to pre-order. You're having a hard time logging in. It's a rare bug that's happening. Hey, if you make a new Nintendo account, we'll make sure that new account can go get that pre-order in. It won't replace your current account, but just for pre-order purposes, hey, we'll manually approve that account. It is cool that customer service does have the ability to manually approve a brand new Nintendo account to get that pre-order in, because they can verify that, hey, this is your account. This is your account email. You verified everything. I don't know why you can't log in, but until that's sorted out here, let's not mess around. Let's make sure you still get your pre-order in that 72-hour window. Make a new account. We'll make it happen. I am appreciative that they do have a solution and that customer support is able to do something about it, but it does suck. You only have like 3 to 4 business days to get things in. As we go in here, it says, making matters worse, we don't have a guarantee that the provided solution will actually work as indicated. Nintendo followed up with the message that they would notify the customer when the pre-order was available on the new account, but because they have a turnaround time of 3 to 4 business days, the invitation could expire. So that is very unfortunate because the communications with the support team could take some time. It's possible that, they might forego that and just hold that pre-order for this person. But they stated they were unable to guarantee you will still be able to use the new account to make the purchase if the invitation expires. So it is frustrating. I'm happy that they have a solution, but it sucks the solution isn't guaranteed to work just due to the delay in communications. But man, I hope this didn't happen to a ton of people, but it is just something to note that it has happened. This makes those pre-orders at GameStop now even like more valid for you to worry about here in the US. If you didn't get your pre-order in and all the pre-orders are sold out online. GameStop, by the way, is going to have pre-orders available online as well on the 4th, I believe at like midnight or like right when the Switch 2 releases. I don't know. Either way, the best way to do it's in person regardless. And you know what? We're going to be having an in-person event at our GameStop. So that's going to be fun. We're going to be doing a whole live stream event and having a lot of fun. We might even be cooking some hot dogs and just chilling. So we'll see what happens, folks. I am Nathaniel Robojans from Nintendo Prime. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. This has been a wild and fun ride. And you know what? I'll catch you guys on our next video.